Hello again. So, part three focuses on problems dealing with averages. So, problems dealing with averages. So, let's just, in its basic form, to find the average of something, you have to take the sum of all the values, all the values divided by the number of values that you have. So, that's in its basic form. That's how you solve out an average problem. If I were to find an average, give you however many numbers, add them all up, divide by however many numbers I gave you. In this case, one of the values is going to be missing. One value is going to be missing. We have to find it. So, from Monday through Thursday, Grace's assembly line produced 27, 24, 19, and 22 cars respectively. So, let's put this in context. Here we have four numbers. We're given four numbers. So 27, 24, 19, and 22. So if we're putting this in context, 27, 24, 19, and 22, if we add them together, is 92. That's 92. That's four numbers. So 92 divided by 4, right now, 23. So right now, we have an average of 23. Right now, we have an average of 23. Keep that part in mind. To meet quota, her assembly line must produce an average of 25 cars per week. How many must be produced on Friday? So we have 4 days. So 92 represents the number of cars made in 4 days. We need a fifth day. We are going to add a fifth day to it. So we're going to add a fifth day's of work, but we don't know how many cars we made that day, so that's X. But now that we're adding another day, that's now 5 days, not 4. And she has her instructions. She needs 25 cars per week. So here's her equation. There's the equation that she's going to have to solve. So we can go ahead and solve it. Since you have a division sign, opposite of division is multiplication. So multiply both sides by 5 in this case. Left-hand side, the 5s are going to drop out. 92 plus x equals 125. So x equals 33 cars that's going to have to be made on Friday. 33 cars that are made on Friday. So there you go. So to understand this problem, there's one, look at what is the average now and what is the average that you're trying to get to. That hopefully gives a little bit more clarity as to why the equation is set up the way it is. All right, 10. The mean of 5 numbers is 28. If one of the numbers is excluded, the mean gets reduced by 2. Find the excluded number. So again, let's put this in context. The mean of 5 numbers is 28. Now, mean is another name for average. So the average of 5 numbers is 28. Do we know what those 5 numbers add up to? No, at least not yet. But we know that the average of them comes up to be 28. So since average is equal to the sum divided by the number of values, that gives you 28 equals some number divided by 5. But we can easily figure that out. Multiply by 5. Multiply both sides by 5. So that sum that we were talking about is 140. That's 140. Do we know what the 4 numbers are? No. And actually, in this case, we don't need to know. We don't need to know what the 5 numbers are. I'm sorry. We don't need to know what the 5 numbers are. We just know that they add up to 140. So let's keep going. If one of the numbers is excluded, the mean gets reduced by 2. So again, think about the average. Think about how an average works. We just found out that if we add 5 numbers together, 140 was the sum. If one of the numbers is excluded, then one of the numbers is taken out. So you have 140, a number's being taken out. We don't know how much that number was. But now, if we are taking out the number, we don't have 5 numbers anymore. You have 4 numbers. And they told you the mean gets reduced by 2. All right. So instead of 28, you're down to 26. You're down to 26. So there you go. So here's our equation. There's the equation that we can use to solve this out. So pretty straightforward. Get rid of division by multiplying. So 140 minus x equals 26 times 4, 104. Finish solving the equation. So negative x equals negative 36. And then we can't leave the variable negative. Divide both sides by negative 1. You get x equals 36. So that number that's being taken out is 36. So the number being removed is 36. Number being removed is 36. So again, word problems, not difficult. Read them again if you have to, and then start putting it together. So, problem 11. Timothy's average score on his first 4 tests was 76. The final exam for the course counts as 2 tests. What must the score be on the final exam in order to finish with an average of 80? So this is actually not that different from problem 10. This problem's not that much different from problem 10. So average score on the first 4 tests was 76. So we don't know what the first 4 tests were. Something plus something plus something plus something divided by 4 has got to give you 76. So something divided by 4 has got to give you 76. So we can find out what that sum is. Multiply both sides by 4. So the sum of the first 4 tests. Sum of the first 4 tests ends up being 304. Now, do we know what he got on each individual test? No. And honestly, we don't need to know. For all we know, he could have gotten 100, 100, 100, and a 4%. For all we know. But we don't care. We don't need to know. We know that the first 4 tests added up to be 304. So 304 divided by, in this case, 4, we're at 76. We're at 76. So the final exam counts as 2 tests. Final exam counts as 2 tests. So that means we're adding 2 more tests. 304 plus a final that's counting twice. Final that's counting twice. But keep that in mind, though. If it counts twice, then instead of 4 tests at the bottom in the denominator, it now becomes 6. And just as the problem asks you, you want an 80. So you want to, at the end of the day, end up with an 80. So we've got what we have what we need. We have what we need. Now we can go ahead and start solving the problem. So some light combining like terms. 304 plus 2x over 6 equals 80. Get rid of that denominator. So 304 plus 2x equals 480. Subtract 304 on both sides. 2x equals 176. So x equals 88. So Tim needs to score 88 on that final if he wants to finish with a B. He wants to finish with a B. So he has his work cut out for him if he wants to finish with a B. So that completes part 3, working with averages. Averages is based off of the premise that average is the sum divided by the number of values that you have. So part 4, consecutive integers. We'll take care of that shortly.